Hello and well. I am the last hit point hero, and you found your way to Neon Lights Roleplay. We are so very glad you're here and hope you enjoy your stay tonight. We return to our long-running Cold Hands, Warm Hearts Rhyme of the Frostmaiden campaign, where, by God, we will finish this game one way or another. I offer neither warmth nor comfort to my children, yet those sworn to preserve shall be granted a boon. What is mine shall always be mine. Those who are mine shall always be mine. All is mine, as it is, as it shall ever be. First and foremost, no attempts to make the story child appropriate have occurred. This is a tale of cold, isolation, alien incursion, and self-centered divinities. This actual play stream contains adult language, descriptions of violence, just some slight gore, nothing too over the top, scary images, environmental horror. If you don't like being cold, it's gonna be a long couple hours for you. And generally speaking, well, yeah, that and more. Our players are here to warm the night. Safety tools are in place for our players, but you as an audience member do not have such a luxury. So if you do know of any particular sensitivities, please feel free to step aside if you need to and come back when you are able to, but barring that readied action trigger, kick back, relax, keep all heads, hands, paws, and claws inside the stream at all times. Make sure you follow Neon Lights Roleplay. So many amazing people, so many amazing players, so many creatives in just a wonderful, wonderful place. Join I bet you have a Discord link, don't you? Heck, you've got a Discord
I don't know
link
if we
for me,
do.
don't you?
Hold on, we're gonna try. We don't.
Heck, I always ask for a Discord
I
link.
know, I'm sorry.
I didn't prepare you. I'm sure there'll be a Discord link that you could join and just be part of a fantastic community. And above all else, be good. That's the rule. Be good. But this particular table, the game, is new to Neon Lights Roleplay, so we're going to take a few minutes, maybe a few moments more than we typically would, to introduce ourselves, the characters that we will be playing, and our first night here, and I forgot a question of the night. Okay. When you think of a sign in neon lights, what does it say? That's your question for the night to think of. Which isn't character related. Usually it's character related. I can do that better. Character related. If your character had a business in Icewind Dale, what color neon lights would they have outside of it, and what would it say? There we go. That's your question for your characters. Give you a moment to think about it as we work our way down and around for our introduction. So, beginning directly below me. If by some weird happenstance you haven't heard the word, I can think of no one better to tell you the word than them. Sir Heckalot.
Everybody, it's me, Sir Heckalot. You know. It's so good to be back at this table, y'all. Holy shit, this is so good. Tonight I am playing Astoria, the ASMR bard, who was basically brought in by a being that you will meet very soon if you have not seen this campaign so far, from a place that is basically the opposite of the Icewind Dale, basically a desert type environment. So it's been a very interesting journey thus far. For her. She uses she, her pronouns, I use she, they pronouns. And she had a business in Icewind Dale. I think it would have to do like something with like investigations. Like she's a lore bard, so she just kind of like tries to learn a little bit about everything. So maybe like a private eye kind of thing. Um, and yeah, it would be like Arsalier, like that's her last name, Arsalier Investigations, and it would be probably in pink. I feel like that's very fitting for her. But yeah, let's move it on over to our next party member.
Next, as you continue down and around, they are the only person who has both checked out of and left Hotel California. It's Al. Al likes to be muted. Sometimes they remember to unmute.
I'm just going to stay muted. Hey, everybody. My name is Al Lucart. My pronouns are they, them. I'm a sci-fi fantasy artist and tabletop game geek. My pronouns are they, them, and I play Mirth, our Dragonborn bard, and one of the OG party members. And if Mirth had a business like with a neon sign, the color would be rainbow, and the sign would say, exotic dancers.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yep, no doubt, no question. Absolutely. Continuing on over, he has tugged on Superman's cape, spit into the wind, pulled the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and both Jim and Slim run off when they're around. T.
Hello, it's good to be back. I'm T. My pronouns are he, they, and I play Braum the human paladin. His pronouns are he, him. I thought a little bit about what Braum would do. I think that if he had a military career, he'd probably be like a guard or something like that. Or maybe he'd be in the King's Army. But as far as like normal people, non-fighting careers, I think he'd probably either be a baker or a blacksmith. Since it doesn't say you wouldn't think it, but like there's a reason why they make the bakers like really big dudes in cartoons. It's because it takes a lot of like physical effort to like roll the bread every morning. So I'm gonna go with baker, and I'd say his sign would be like a navy blue, something boring, maybe with like yellow lettering.
Oh, Braum.
Just a burnt out neon light sign, because Braum wouldn't know that you have to turn it on to make it bright and shiny, and it just looks better this way.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I like this. It seems normal.
Continuing on over, our newest permanent cast member, a guest star that we kept because, well, that is just what we like to do. I can see it in her eyes. She's the one you're looking for. It's Janie.
Janie, I have she, they pronouns. I playing May, who happens to be another bard. She's also a retired adventurer who's she was teaching some kids how to hit each other with sticks and ended up in a really cold place. And I think she would have like a shop if she had a neon sign, like an old, like not a junk shop, basically, just selling random things to people. And it would have like a sign that says open, that's red with a green border that just kind of flickers because it's about to go out, but she doesn't want to pay to get it fixed yet, even though she can. Just not doing it.
It's on principle.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because. And last but not least, our guest for this session and our next session, all of our guests will now have 2 sessions. He is on his knees with the answer. We are both human and dancer. It's Ty.
Hi everyone, I'm Tyrant. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Dr. Tyrant. I will be playing Steve Gladiv, the Astral Elf Warlock Fighter. Oh man. As for my neon sign, first off, I am he, him pronouns. Steve is they, them pronouns. For my sign, I think Steve's business would be trying to figure out a way to get the hell away from Icewind Dale. So it would be some sort of teleportation or interdimensional travel business smuggling operation, where they would have a kind of like the more you know sign, where it's like a shooting star, and it'd just be a bunch of multicolored, but also like broken slightly, and like flashing and fritzing at the ends of it as well.
Perfect. Sounds great. You might want to check your cord on your mic, though.
Okay.
You're crackling a bit. The story so far. Oh, sorry. And I am the last hit point hero. You can call me HP. I use the he, him pronouns, and I will be embodying everybody else they run into. The brief summary so far, just to bring everyone a little bit up to speed, and then you'll see who usually brings us up to speed right after this. Our party has been moving their way through Icewind Dale, blizzard to blizzard, essentially doing their best to save the day in little ways. After making quite a name for themselves, they did come across an entire fortress of Durgar, who were attempting to take over Icewind Dale. Now that it's dark all the time, the Durgar thought, well, we'll have a kingdom above ground as well. Now the sun's not a problem. They created a Shardland dragon, which the party defeated and dumped into one of the locks within Icewind Dale. From there, they moved from town to town, ran into Revison and killed her, a servant of Auril the Frostmaiden, and have now made their way to the Dark Duchess. They have a ship's bell in hand and are following a lead to find the Codicil in White, a book of rituals that has been found by a number of wizards who have been exploring Icewind Dale for themselves. They have a love-hate relationship with more than one of these acquaintances, and are, well, they are seeing what develops when they ring this bell. At the present moment, though, they are on the Dark Duchess itself. It is a ship that is locked in ice, frozen. They have found evidence of treasure frozen in ice and have every reason to believe that the ancient white dragon Arviderace may be heading their way. So that's the story so far from me. But usually, we will have a brief summary by a very good friend of ours, a friend who hangs on the inn wall at the Northlook Inn. And Old Bidey tends to give us these summaries. So I think Old Bidey has one prepared for this evening. So, Boss Man, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh! SOS Nievesi. Yeah, that's the Dale, baby. Cold hands came around and knocked the troll down, Neil torched off its feet. SOS Nievesi. Yeah, that's the Dale, baby. A dragon soaring, listen to the roaring, she's all over them.
Lemon
Biddy bum 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 bum. Biddy bum 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 bum. Biddy bum 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 bum. Biddy bum 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 bum.
White lips clacking against crystal. Oh, we're not back. Now we are. Okay. Thank you, Old Bidey, for the summary. we have a brief vignette to share, and then we'll get back to the game on the Dark Duchess itself. So yes, if you haven't met Old Bitey, then yes, Old Bitey will be a regular summarizer of our most recent adventures. But before we get into the story proper, there's one last vignette to share. Ice falling from the passing blizzard is pierced by a somewhat familiar scaled figure coursing through the star-filled sky. Icicles of frozen spittle cling to its frost-white lips, clacking against crystal-clear fangs as hard as steel. Having sought Auril, the creature no longer roars with desperation, but with fervor. Herds of wandering reindeer lift their heads, then scatter at the terrifying sound. If any stray soul found themselves this near the sea of moving ice, and so happened to understand the tongue of dragons, they would catch a word made from its most base syllable. A word many young learn before any other is being bellowed into the frozen dark. The creature is calling out, Mother. On the top deck of the Dark Duchess, Neo stands, looking up into the dark night sky. Well, morning sky. It's hard to keep track. It's something like 9 in the morning, the 18th of Nightall. But between the aurora and the stars and the sun that never rises, it's hard to keep track. But he went up top for lookout, and as he looks, the entire ship shakes as a roar pierces. That sounded like draconic. I wonder if Mirth knows what that means. And as he takes a step toward the hole in the top of the ship that leads down below where the others are, he went, oh wait, Mercutio has Mirth. Mercutio! And a bright light shines down, creating a circle around Neo. After a few moments, this beam of sunlight disperses, and with Neo no longer present, instead we have a patch of green grass in a perfect circle growing on the deck of a locked-in ice ship. Standing in it, snout to nose, is an astral elf and a dragonborn bard. You two are now on the Dark Duchess. The rest of you are down below, having just opened the door to the kobolds there. And that is where we'll begin.
What does Sieve look like?
So standing before you is a medium height, very pale-skinned elf, kind of longer ears that kind of trail off almost past the shoulders. Very fair, almost like white golden light hair that goes down past the mid-back. His eyes are, there are no irises, but the entire pupil and iris area almost looks like deep, starry sky fields. Dressed in very nice, kind of presentery looking garb, with different elements of armor, plating, and bits about him, and a ruby studded rapier on their hilt.
Awesome. So Mirth, who is snout to nose with you in a moment, and I'll tell you what he says in a second here, oh hot elf, he's over 6 feet. He's a lanky beanpole of a copper dragonborn, and he has oxidized scales like eyeshadow, and he wears turquoise jewelry that's totally impractical in this frozen conditions. He has rings on each of his scaly little fingers, painted claws. He's beautiful for his bard, but he's definitely prioritized fashion over practicality, and his teeth are chattering, and he looks at you, he looks at Steve, and he says, hello, where are we?
Oh, well. I didn't expect such a pleasant sight coming to a frozen wasteland. He puts a finger up to... I'm sorry, what was your character's name again? I'm so sorry.
Mirth, like laughing, yeah.
I'm so bad with names, so this could be a problem.
That's okay.
He puts a finger up to Mirth's snout, and you can feel like this warmth kind of pass through the face and down through the shoulders, as a kind of bit of residual magic warms the soul for a bit. Wouldn't want you to chatter your teeth before we make our proper introductions.
Down below, there is a tug at both of your knees as a small figure wearing they're going to be standing there in a nice tuxedo shirt, long tails down the back, a silver tray in hand with 2 flutes of champagne upon it. They'll look up and go, well, I guess you two are getting along nicely. Where's the rest of them? They've got to be somewhere around here. Anyway, your problem, not mine. And in a blink, Mercutio disappears, leaving you on this frozen deck. And just as Mercutio disappears, there is this that echoes across the sky. Mirth, who speaks Draconic, that guttural roar that you hear is a word. It's the word mother echoing across the ice.
Okay, meta question if I may, since it's been a couple hours since last we played. So we know Aviderace is the absolutely ancient, sort of senile white dragon that we engaged with like many games back, right? Correct. So if this is not Aviderace, this is a different dragon?
It would be odd for Aviderace to be yelling mother.
Yeah, that's God.
You have heard Aviderace roar. And
is it her voice?
It doesn't really sound like her voice.
Oh, interesting.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me... Well, this would be more charisma based. Probably any charisma check. Like just a straight charisma check. I'll just do that. Your ability to remember someone you spoke to before.
Okay. 16?
16? There is something recognizable about the voice. But with a 16, it's so far off. It sounds familiar, but it sounds like you get the impression that it's deeper than how you remember it, but it sounds familiar.
Oh. So is it just Steve and I up here right now, and the rest of the gang is in the belly of the ship?
You take a look around. The two of you see a frozen ship. There are like 1.5 long worm-like things crawling on the deck of the ship towards you very slowly. They don't seem like much of a threat. And there is a large, dead, similarly shaped creature on the deck of the ship as well.
Mirth, it's a testament to Steve's handsomeness that Mirth looks around and the little eep goes, ah! There's sort of a bunch of undignified squawking noises. And then Mirth sort of looks at Steve and says, I think we should go down to the bellows of the ship here because I just heard something in Draconic that is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh. Do you have companions?
Yes, but I'm not sure if they're here.
Well.
And I think Mirth is going to, inadvisably, bellow for Braum. Despite the stormy seas, despite the risks this may face, he impulsively yells to see if Braum is nearby.
Those of you below, you hear that roar, and it's not too much longer before the kobolds in the room that are obviously not hidden but think they are look at each of you, and then you hear Mirth yelling for Braum.
Braum hopefully hears him from. Yeah, you'd be able to hear him.
Oh yeah, it's not that big of a ship. You'd be able to hear, no problem.
He kind of does that thing, where you like bust in on someone, you do that like double take and stare at them awkwardly. He's not going to reclose the door, but he kind of like moves as quickly as he can in full plate and starts to move back up, the hole where they fell down. And I think there was like a hole in the deck and
there was
like a rope down or something. So he knows the dragon's coming because they heard it, and I think the kobolds told them as much. So I think what he's going to do is he runs out to where the hole is and kind of looks up the hole to see if he can see them. And quietly, without yelling, he says, Mirth,
Yeah?
come down. The dragon's coming down here. It lives in here. There's an extra hole. There's a room in here where kobolds have been hiding. We should hide while it's here so that we don't get eaten.
I should have stayed in the Bahamas. Come on, let's go. And Mirth is going to he's going to sit on his butt and scoot over to the edge and then say, catch me! And then jump off the edge towards Braum.
Braum's going to try and help.
Why are we fretting so much about a tiny dragon?
I don't think it's tiny, says Braum. Because I remember there was a bunch of stuff frozen into its floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The pile of frozen gold that we couldn't melt.
Yeah, Braum is like, I don't think it's tiny.
Braum, look at this handsome stranger I found. What's your name?
Upon calling Steve handsome, they can toss their hair a little bit. But they will say, trust me, dear, once you've seen an astral dreadnought, all dragons are tiny. Steve Gladive at your service, and they will bow in a deep, magnificent bow. Oh.
Is there a lifeboat or something outside dropping people off?
No, but I'll explain in a little bit. Let's go hide with the kobolds.
If you wish. I'll do something to keep watch. Steve just closes their eyes for a moment, and you watch the shadow from Steve's, that's coming off of Steve's boots and kind of extending in one direction, begin to hands begin to crawl out from the inside of the shadow and hoist themselves up as the shadow comes off of the ground and then steps away from Steve. Keep an eye out for dragons. The shadow nods. All right. Let's go meet your friends.
So Brahm's going to try and catch Mirth.
You can catch Mirth, that's fine.
All right.
You're a level 7 adventurer paladin. You can catch Mirth when he jumps down.
He's a big boy. He can at least be cushioned. And then he offers the same to Steve. Even though he can't, I don't think he can see them that well from this position. But yes, he offers anyways. He's just like, whatever, come on. Let's go.
Steve comes to the hatch or the hole or whatever Brahm is standing in, and will reach down a hand and then intentionally trip a little bit and will land into Brahm's arms and go, oh, thank you so much for catching me.
Brahm turns incredibly red, he turns it's just that immediate super redness, and he kind of stops moving for a second and he says, nice to meet you. He kind of carefully puts him down, and then kind of points towards the door where the kobolds were going. This way.
All right.
As soon as you point toward the door, it slams shut, and there is a sound of clacking as all the bolts are slid into place. She's definitely coming. You can just the two of you standing nearby can just barely make out through the thick oak door. She's definitely coming, and she's gonna eat them, and when she eats them, she'll go away because she'll think that that's it. That's fine. Good plan. Way to go.
In this moment, if it's okay, I think before we get into the action, I think, if I may be so bold, it would be really cool to get a visual on our characters, since this is our first time back in a while. So Steve and Mirth, we got a little bit of an explanation, but would anybody else perhaps want to say what they look like? Just for
Sure.
mind picture, you know?
Please, everyone should describe their characters, starting with Astoria.
Sure, I'll go ahead. Listen, I'm okay with that. I didn't know what order we were gonna go in. We were gonna do that awkward, like, everyone just kind of sits there for a second in silence before someone finally volunteers. Yeah, so Astoria is a pretty average height, like, mostly, like, just human-looking woman. Though she does have, like, a little bit of the, like, kind of angelic features of, you know, her ASMR blood. Yeah, she has slightly curled, very pale blonde hair, as well as some vibrant, like almost like amber-ish looking eyes. As I think she's still wearing a cloak that somebody gave her at some point. Yeah, that probably gave her at some point. But underneath are leather armor of dark reds and browns, with a pair of daggers at the hip, as well as a lute that she carries with her, as well as like, probably a set of tomes, like kind of strapped over every which way, as she just kind of looks to the door that just slammed. And for backstory, there was an entire like back and forth that Astoria had with these kobolds, and she's like, you know, just leave it to the kobolds for them to do something like that. Any other solutions?
I have an idea. But before that idea, did we get a Braum and a May?
What do you need? Says Braum, kind of like
Sorry.
looking back, like
That was meta. Like, is May in the room right now? I see her.
Yep.
Have I met?
May's next to Astoria.
May
You've not
have...
met May.
Okay, cool. Then Mirth, who was previously squeaking in Brahm's arms, steps down, and I think he's about Brahm's height, if not like a slender inch taller. I'm not sure. He's like a beanpole compared to Brahm. Sees May, and his ear fins perk up, and he goes, "Oh, hello.
Hello to you.
My name's Mirth. It's nice to meet you. What's your name?"
I'm May, and May is a just an average size human woman with like a deep brown skin, and she's wearing a cloak. Did Braum give her a cloak too? It's way
Braum in canon
real name is
has
Braum.
a bag full of cloaks waiting to be given away. Purchased
amazing.
extra a few towns ago.
yeah, Braum. I think Braum gave away the cloak that he was wearing at this point, though, so I don't think he has any extra left. That was given to May. So currently he is cloakless, cloak low.
Aw.
And give the visual for Braum also.
Oh, right. So Braum is a big boy paladin. He's about the size of a linebacker. And he's wearing some heavy plate armor now that appears to be blue in color. I don't know if it looks like it's painted or if it just kind of glows with like a blue sort of light. He is currently cloakless, which if he was wearing a cloak, he would look even bigger. He has tan skin and almost black hair, not quite, and dark eyes. He looks about 25-ish. Maybe he could be older. It's kind of hard to tell. At least I find it hard to tell when people are kind of like that large build. Older. He seems to be carrying like a very large great sword kind of strapped to his waist. Currently this armor is clean. He was previously completely completely covered in troll blood. So, but currently he's not clean. He is not dirty and disgusting. He is clean.
So now that we're all down there and introductions have been made, Mirth says, okay, so the dragon that roared said mother, which terrifyingly leads me to suspect that this is a child, perhaps, of a Vita race. But you said that the dragon lives here on this ship. Is that correct? Yes. Okay.
Yes. This is its hoard here, he says, pointing to it.
Interesting.
I don't know why it's calling for her, but we should do something before.
I have an idea.
Mirth, you would glance at that pile of frozen coins, and it's definitely not enough to be an ancient dragon's hoard. But you do know that ancient dragons, especially ancient white dragons, they don't like moving their hoards around. When they find something like a bunch of coins in the bottom of a ship, they're more than likely just going to freeze it where it is and claim that as part of their bigger hoard. So it's hard to tell just at a glance if this would be a single dragon's hoard that's smaller or one of many hoards of an ancient dragon.
Satellite horde.
Satellite
hoard.
Mirth will relay this information and will, as this roaring thing is presumably coming closer, say, okay, let's say we can distract, negotiate, or not get eaten by this landlord. How do we get out of here to begin with? Do we have an escape plan? Anybody got any ideas?
Well, we have to climb the rope to get out and then ring the bell so that we can be carried away.
Carried away by whom?
He makes a gesture. I don't know if he'd know that he saw a whale. I'm going to roll a nature check. I actually don't know. I don't think he's ever seen a whale. I don't think he's ever seen a whale before, so I think he'd just be like, it's real big. No, okay. He knows what a whale is. He got a 16. He knows what a whale is. I think it's a whale. A really big whale. Like, he just gestures like the biggest whale. I mean, clearly it's much bigger than his arms, but it told us to come here. It said to ring the bell. We met it earlier. He looks at the others like, don't look at me like I'm crazy.
We were about as puzzled as you are.
Well, fair enough. So here's my idea. And Mirth, I'm just going to relay this so that I don't have to try and do it all in character. But Mirth's suggestion is he has two thoughts. The first thought is to create, he has illusory magic, and something tells me Steve might be able to help too. We also have a million bards. We could use illusions to create a fake other small dragon, like Major Illusion can create like a juvenile or a wormling, and we could send it across the land and make a goose chase, perhaps, try and provoke it and be like, okay, get out of here, get enough time to ring a bell. Or we could simp and make a big pile of treasure for it and appeal to the inevitably massive ego that all dragons come pre-installed with, and bribe it that way and hope that our illusions last long enough to get that bell rung. Thoughts?
Let's try and dupe it. Braum doesn't really want to make a deal with the dragon, especially not a white dragon, if possible.
What does everybody think? How do the characters feel about this idea? Does this seem reasonable? Are they not sure?
I don't know how much of my input weighs here, being a newer member of this troop, but I wouldn't go far as to say that my ideas would be any more intelligent than all of your beautiful minds. But why exactly are we avoiding a fight?
Well, for starters, we all just got out of a fight and kind of gestures at whatever
There's
remains
a
of
corpse
the
of an
troll.
ice troll
Yeah,
over on the
is
side.
there.
Its chest is broken open because Brahm claimed its heart.
That's why I said he was previously coated in like 3 different kinds of blood, probably like 3 different colors.
But you know what? When Steve says that, Mirth's eyes begin to glitter with admiration because, Steve, you have implied that nothing phases you. And Mirth has sort of taken the underlying confidence of your words to mean that you are a very experienced adventurer who laughs in the face of danger. And so when you say that, Mirth sort of lights up a little like, oh, didn't realize fighting could be an option. You know, you could carry us, kind of a thing. And he's like, it's good to know that's a thing we could do.
It is a possibility if the dragon's not too big, says Braum, thinking.
Well, a white dragon, whatever size it may be, wouldn't be the largest thing that I've taken down in my travels. So, if we want to fight, that's by all means an option.
Well,
Steve, could you remind me how your shadow communicates with you?
oh no.
Scary question.
Does it need to come see you? Can it talk?
Yes, it needs to come see me at this level.
Okay. As you are discussing this, a darkness drops from the upper deck and lands silently behind Braum, and speaks, "See, something nears."
Braum doesn't jump out of his skin, but he really wanted to. He kind of like turns around quickly.
Astoria absolutely did. If there's a shadow that passed over around where the above was, yeah, she absolutely did.
Now that you take a closer look at it, you glance over at Steve and at it, and the two are identical, except the shadow looks like Steve has gone monotone and smoky.
Yeah, and at this point, even though they're disconnected, all of the hand gestures and movements and demeanor that Steve is putting out there, the shadow is reflecting as well. Oh, don't worry. You know what they say, don't be afraid of your own shadow. I think the dragon is here, though.
Everybody in favor of Plan Fake Dragon, say aye. I figure we could fight as a backup.
Aye. I'd love to see your handiwork.
Mirth kind of pales a little bit at the realization he has to try and put his money where his mouth is.
I, however, cannot do too much illusionary work, but I can play backup. And he waves his hand. They wave their hand in front of them, and a spectral lute appears over their shoulder and begins to just play a nice, jaunty little tune.
I love bards. Such dorks.
The ship itself creaks as something heavy lands above. You can hear through the deck boards above you the groan as bits of ice snow down in front of you all.
Okay, before
You
it
hear a
finds
voice.
us.
Oh yeah. I'll give you time to do something. It won't find you before you do something.
Thank you.
You can hear a voice growling in Draconic, and there's something somewhat familiar about it to some of you. Well, Braum, go ahead and give me a charisma check. I'd say charisma is how well you'd remember something you've seen before.
12.
12?
Wait,
Again,
I get slightly more. Hang on. Let me go check. I'm sorry, I rolled with my actual dice, but it's not that high.
you would need more than slightly more.
Yeah, no, not happening.
There's something, 12 still enough. There's something familiar about the tone of the voice, but it seems off, deeper in some way. Anyone that speaks Draconic can hear, "Mother, you said they'd be near. You said she'd be near. where I must have my revenge.
Wait a minute. No. What?
You guys have an action. You all have an action.
As Mirth is listening in, his eyes widen and he looks at all of you, and I think he's like sotto voce. I think like he's mouthing and whispering a translation because he's not going to leave you guys hanging. Like he's kind of going to be like, this is what I'm hearing. And when he hears this, he's thinking to himself, this thing wants revenge. Ravison. Is this Ravison's ship? Rivison's ship, sorry. No?
You don't think it's Rivison's ship. You rack your brain. There has been an encounter with white dragons.
Yeah, where we
One baby got away.
Wormlings,
Braum.
in fact.
Oh, that episode.
I see. This is the consequences of our actions. Oh,
yes.
Okay, fine. Great. Okay. Great. Never mind.
You
then.
have a plan.
We do. And it's
Feel
time
free.
to enact it. Bards,
Go for it.
activate.
Right. What you got?
Okay. So here's my vision. Please help any way you guys want. Mirth takes out a little bit of fleece from the lining of his cloak and he whispers a spell. And he gets really into character and he creates a it's about a 20-foot kind of a cube. So would a juvenile dragon fit in that, or would it be a wormling? DM.
So wormlings would be about medium size.
About medium. Okay.
Adults would be large.
What about
They're-
juveniles?
All the
teenagers.
whatever size you'd like it to be is fine. You can.
I mean,
you can-
20-foot cube is a lot.
20 foot
Yeah.
cube's a lot.
That's a big dragon.
I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that
I
one.
think that's bigger than large, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
So.
a big. That's like a
It's huge.
yeah, a huge size.
That's perfect. Okay, great. So before our very eyes, we see manifested a white juvenile dragon, and it climbs up kind of the side and climbs up onto the deck, and you can see its tail trails down to where we are still. And Mirth is like fully doing the concentrating thing right now, like as he's starting with it. And I think our juvenile dragon calls out and says, "Halt! Who goes there?" In Draconic. We're gonna
Astoria is
die.
actually, no, you're gonna be fine. Astoria is going to overlay the juvenile dragon's voice, briefly, turning to Mirth and just saying, "Brilliant, brilliant," and is going to overlay that voice with the effect of casting Dissonant Whispers, to almost mimic the fearful effect that she has heard dragons can cause. So Dissonant Whispers requires a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Real fast.
We'll do that and then we'll roll initiative.
Oh.
Wisdom saving throw is a button that I have for something that I'm certain I opened up somewhere. There it is. All right, a wisdom save. Come on, roll for me. Roll for me. Okay, it's not connecting there. So sorry about this. It'll take me just 1 second to open this up and do it
No
correctly.
problem.
A 12.
All right, so on a failed save, because that fails, takes 3d6 psychic damage and must
Okay.
immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Okay.
So let me roll that damage real fast.
Perfect.
Oh my god, Astoria, you brilliant, brilliant woman.
It says 15 psychic damage.
15 psychic damage. There is this roar
Oh god.
from above. You can hear them, Mirth, you can hear the Draconic going, "Who are you?" As the voice fades a bit, as it seems to fly up into the sky to get away from this whatever it is. Yeah, go ahead and roll initiative. That'll change where everybody starts then.
And also, let me know when I can have a free action to reply. But let's see.
With
Initiative. Don't forget to click your icons.
Yeah. Oh no. That's a pretty par for the course.
What did you get? You
7.
got 7? Alas, that's okay.
21.
Well done, by the way, Heck. I'm so glad you thought of that.
I
Made
got
our
you.
intro decent for our construct we're together making.
11. And then just May's initiative, I think.
Collabs.
Had a 19. I'm sorry, no, it was 20.
20? All right, gotcha. That is everyone. Sending order, starting with Mirth. You can have for free whatever talking you want to do.
Thank you.
And this is your dragon that you all see here.
Yay, we have a dragon, guys!
That's your fake dragon.
Yes.
It moved up onto the deck in order to speak. And Mirth, go ahead.
Our dragon spreads out her wings and she roars. And it's a good dragon roar because Major Illusion is cool like that. And she cries out, I am a Lizarrat, descendant of Stigarius, the Lord of Glaciers, and I demand to know your name, fool.
In the distance, because the dragon had to run, you hear the response. I'm Gillum, offspring of Arviderace,
God damn it.
servant of Auril.
Oh, shit.
You are trespassing on my mother's domain. There's a pause, and then the Frostmaiden told me I would find my prey here or near. Were there creatures about?
Was that a question? Did it said, are there creatures about? Is that what it said? Or is it mostly just kind of stating its purpose?
Well, it said were there. It was a question.
Oh, okay. Were there creatures about? Our dragon says, here we go. Gillum, offspring of Aviderace, one whom I know. The only fleshlings here have been dispatched.
Okay. So what I will do, as you are trying to actively deceive the dragon, is this will be your turn. You are trying to deceive them. If you're okay with that, go ahead and roll a deception check. Otherwise, you can do other things with your turn. I just want you to make clear that I am considering this your action in combat.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to try and deceive. Otherwise, we're going in. But for now, let's see if we get lucky. Okay. Deception. 19.
19?
Yeah.
There is a growl. I was promised revenge, and you took it from me. That's it. Do you want to move anywhere? Otherwise, it's May's turn.
Yes. Mirth cusses under his breath, not in a Lizarrat's voice, and scrambles for thematic purposes. Not really, I don't know how much I'm moving because that was my action, but is kind of going to go up where he can get a look into the sky, and he's going to make her take flight so that she can start distracting, I hope, Gillum, so that at least the initial attack, I hope, is going to be in the air, so he's going to send her up.
Okay. So the dragon will fly up in the air after Gillum. May, go ahead. It's your turn.
Just actually going to just keep hiding for this turn.
That's perfectly fine. Do you want to actively hide or just stay down below?
Really hard.
All right, go ahead and give me a stealth. Excuse me. Stealth check then. There are a few hammocks and other things that may slips behind and ducks down below.
So I got 18.
18? All right.
But 18.
Okay. So you duck off to the side and are definitely out of sight. And feel pretty good about where you settled.
I have the skulker feet, but I don't think that matters right now.
I don't think so either right now.
Okay.
All right. It is Steve's turn.
My. This is impressive. Good job. I'm gonna get a better look. Shadow, attach. The shadow is going to walk over to Sieve and kind of slip back into Sieve's body. And then, don't worry, just a look. Sieve will snap their fingers and cast invisibility.
Okay. You are invisible.
And I'm going to walk upstairs onto the deck.
All right. You make your way up to the deck, and I will move you over there. There are a few things you notice up here. Up in the air, there is the illusion of a young white dragon. And on the other side of it, about 60 feet above you, just you catch glimpses of it in between the wing beats of the illusory one. There is another dragon, another white dragon, but there's something strange about this one. The white dragon that you see looks as you expect. White scales, kind of this, it's like snow with dirt in it. There's just like this dirty brown cast to it. But the dragon on the other side, the starlight is catching and glinting almost as though it's off ice. And as you kind of glance closer, go ahead and give me a perception check. See how much you notice of this.
That I can do. Swoop.
A
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
You see everything.
Wonder, why is it... Oh. The visiting dragon is made entirely of ice. And from here, you can see a small, darker figure curled up in the ice dragon's chest.
It's a mecha.
It looks like a dragon wormling curled up inside of an ice dragon. A dragon made of ice.
Oh no, it's a baby in a Gundam.
Anything else,
when you
Steve?
need him.
Oh no.
So what I'm looking at right now, it's kind of dark, and I don't know if that's just because of the lighting from Roll20, but is it dark out? Is it daytime?
It is night. It is always night. So it's 9 a.m., but the stars are out.
And I do have dark vision, so that should help a little bit.
We generally treat everything as dim light all the time.
Okay. I'm just gonna move to a more advantageous position.
Sure. And again, that dragon's not right there. It's up in the sky.
Just where I can keep an eye out. But that's better.
Sure. All right. Braum, go ahead.
You muted.
You're muted, T.
Sorry about that. I forgot I muted myself. Braum is going to prepare for a fight. He draws his sword. And what's he going to do? Drawing the sword is an action, was it?
No.
No? Okay.
You knew a dragon was coming. You pulled your sword out.
Sure. He's going to, let's see.
If you want to go to the upper deck, I will move you to there.
He's going to go to the upper deck.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. He's not going to go to the upper deck because he is not invisible.
Okay.
What he will do is, let's see. He's going to give himself Shield of Faith, which is a bonus action. What else? Trying to find something that is not a bonus action. And he'll cast Heroism on himself.
Okay. Go ahead.
So.
And then do you want to move anywhere?
Probably move underneath the hole in the ship's hull so that he can pay attention to what's happening.
All right. Astoria.
I guess, yeah, she's going to do similarly, just to see, like, if she can see out of the hole. Like, now that she's pretty confident that, that the dragon is kind of, like, focused on our illusion, is going to try to kind of assess the situation and figure out maybe the best route of escape that we have for everybody to get through. So I guess that would be, like, a perception check or something. Just, like, look at the dragon, look around the ship to see if we can get out in a way that would make sense.
Okay. So you're going to do that from down below or go up on top?
Oh, I don't know if I'm confident enough to go on top of the deck. I think I'm just going to look out from below deck.
No
Okay.
shame. No shame
That's
in
fine.
that.
Go ahead and roll perception with
I am-
disadvantage.
Yeah, like, I am squishy and I am like half HP.
The dum-dums
still.
are the ones going on deck, and we love them. That is a dangerous place to be, friends.
Okay, 13.
13. You try looking through some of the portholes, and you look through a couple of them, and there's ice that is built up against them. You can't really see out. You try and glance up through. You try and remember what it was like up above. The only escape that's coming to mind is if you ring a bell, a whale will come.
It's pretty
bell
much the only
again?
way out.
Yeah.
Was
Gotta
it Braum
ring
that had the bell?
hopefully.
Neo had the bell up on deck,
Oh no.
so no one has seen Neo.
Oh no.
Neo,
Neo.
buddy.
Anything else, Astoria?
She will communicate that to those in the party as she comes to the realization that if we are going to ring the bell, we need to find it, and we probably need to find Neo as well. And that's that's gonna be it.
Okay. Up in the air above, the Gellum comes roaring toward this. This one who would dare take away their vengeance. And with a roar, I was promised the blood of those who killed my brother. And comes roaring toward the illusory dragon. What happens when it makes contact?
I think when he plunges through the illusory dragon, it's actually really beautiful. I think like we get a silhouette moment where he like shatters it, and I think it like bursts into snow, and it's actually like a super gorgeous cinematic moment, but as a result our illusion has perished. It has vanished.
Gillum comes through the other side, looking both ways. Clever, clever, clever. And starts flying toward the deck of the ship. So still about 80 feet away. Yeah, because it was 80 feet, ran, came back. Yeah, 80 feet away in the air, flying towards you. Mirth, you're up.
Okay. gathering my thoughts here. But there's so many different ways we could go. Braum is up top, right?
No,
Braum is waiting under the hole.
He didn't want. Okay, because well, my brain.
Braum, Mirth says. Give me the egg.
No.
Trust me, we should give the egg back to its sibling. Make a trade. Do you see the potential value in that? It's a bartering chip. Why fight if we don't have to? And besides, that thing is only trouble. This way it can live. This way it can live.
It would live better if it was with us.
Would it, though? Things are meant to be free. A dragon as a pet.
Braum kind of looks up like, I don't know if being this goddess's servant is much of a life, honestly.
Get rid of the top of the chain, right?
Goddesses can't be killed. They can
Look.
be quieted.
So as you're saying this, Mirth is nodding and says, we don't have time for philosophical conversations right now. It's now or never. Make the call. He's not getting in your space. He's like beseeching you, but he is not like muscling in or trying to snatch the egg. He's like pleading with you.
We'll let Braum think about it while it goes to May.
Braum seems to be trying to decide anyways. He's not sure.
May, you are currently hiding quite well below decks of the ship.
Can I hear everything that's going on?
You can.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna just make sure it's visible that I'm just getting weapons ready just in case. Like, I got a crossbow I'm loading up. Because if that's on my sheet, I forgot it was on there last time. I'm just going to take my turn and get weapons ready while you all have a chat.
Okay.
I'm really conspicuous. I don't care. I'm conspicuously doing this. like it's a weapon.
My out of question, my out of character thing is, I don't think this is her egg, is it?
This was an egg that was found in the same place that you fought the two wormlings and killed one of them while the other one got away.
So it could potentially be her egg.
It's likely a sibling to the dragon that's in a giant ice dragon suit. Okay. Steve, you're on the deck of the ship invisible. You just saw the illusion burst into snow as a giant ice dragon with a wormling dragon curled up in its chest comes roaring, enraged toward the ship.
Steve, who has just seen the initial ploy fail, goes, "Oh, and I was so hoping it would work. Oh well, more conventional methods. Shadow, depart." Steve's shadow is going to slip away from basically out of thin air as it disconnects itself from the invisible body, and will just stand next to Steve. Then Steve is going to drop invisibility as the battle has begun, and is going to cast Spirit Shroud.
Ooh.
Okay.
As just a bunch of twinkling starlights begin to kind of almost like imagine like the end of Avengers not Endgame, Infinity War, where the dust they turn into dust, but the starlight is just going to like continuously come off of their skin. And then Siva's going to crouch, rapier drawn, and I'm going to hold my action until the dragon is within 30 feet of me.
Okay. As you crouch, you find that you're crouching at approximately the place that you appeared on the deck of the ship. There is that ring of wildflowers and grass next to you. And right in the center of that ring of wildflowers and grass, there is a ship's bell.
Oh.
I don't think I know anything about that.
Nope, that's
Fair
just
enough.
adding to your confusion.
That's so great. We love that the new guy is on top of the thing we need. He's like, that's nice.
Braum, you're up.
I suppose we can offer it to try and avoid a fight, he says, although he seems unsure. He is going to climb to the upper deck.
Okay.
Do I need to roll?
No, you can climb up.
All right.
I don't believe adventurers should fall while climbing.
Thank
So
you. I've had a fight where my character slid down and made everyone fall off. So thank you for not doing that.
No.
Um,
Right.
So
As you
he's
get to
on-
the top, you look to your right and you see Siev's shadow, and Sieve crouched and glimmering. You also see it's not hidden; it's easy to notice. There is a ring of grass and wildflowers that you expect from Mercutio's teleportations, and the ship's bell is right in the center of it.
He's going to note it, but he's not going to go get it just yet. What he does do is he reaches into his backpack in the dragon's ice nest and holds up his arms and says, "Dragon, I have your brother. Come down here and talk."
Steve just
Astoria, it's your turn.
This is so typical for any newcomer to this group. Just like, what is anyone in this group
What the hell
saying?
did I walk into?
I was expecting this, but Steve was not.
I'm sorry, everyone. This is what you get.
Astoria will just kind of look at anyone else that's still below deck and say, well, if anything, we should definitely have his back. So she'll climb on up. Does she notice that this looks like, a little wormling and like basically a mecha?
So when you get up to look, you kick away one of the squirming little leech things that are crawling across the ship's deck, and you look up and you notice at about 80 feet away, even in the dim light, yes, this is the shape of a young dragon, but it appears to be made completely of ice. And what you can see, unless you want to take your turn to get a closer look, a bonus action is what I do for these things. You can take a bonus action to try and get a closer look at the perception. Right now, there's just a dark spot in the center of the ice.
I'll take the bonus action for that.
Right. Go ahead
That
and roll
sounds
perception.
good. Let me just do that real fast. 14.
You can't make out too many details. There's something maybe curled up in the chest, but you can't tell what it is from here.
Yeah. She feels like she would rather be prepared than to do nothing. So she's going to hold an action. And if this ice dragon makes any threatening attack or action towards anyone in the group, she will cast Dispel Magic on it at,
Okay.
I'll say third level.
Yes!
Yes.
So
I was gonna do that
the,
being smart.
so that you have the full picture, this dragon is in dive bomb position right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the question of does it appear hostile? It does.
Oh yeah, it's like
okay, I
yeah.
just wanna make
If it
sure- I
uses
wanna make
like
sure that's
direct
clear. It's
weapon,
not-
it's like yeah, direct like damaging thing basically.
Gotcha. All right. Anything else?
That'll do it.
All right. It's currently 80 feet away. It is diving down. Steve, it is now 30 feet away from you.
Confused as to what is going on, Steve is still going to take their action. And as it gets within 30 feet, immediately Steve's body bursts into starlight, and a shooting star shoots towards the dragon, and Steve rematerializes on the dragon's back.
That's so cool.
So cool.
You are-
What do you mean?
Full on,
That's
full on.
awesome.
One hand on ice spike, another rapier in hand, just ready.
Oh my
to-
god.
ready to go.
Nice.
Gillum is dive bombing toward this. See, they saw you first, and he started heading that way. But as soon as Braum came up with the egg up in the air, Gillum's head, or at least this ice dragon, this dragon made of ice's head, turned to look in Braum's way. He goes, "You stole him? You stole him? He will survive this. You. What is that?" From where you are, Steve, you are on an ice sculpture. Perfectly detailed, immaculate, down to the scale detailing of an ice dragon. And from here, you can see through its fractured, through the facets of its icy skin, there is a curled up white dragon wormling in the thing's chest. And its eye opens and rolls up toward you as you are on its back. It twists in the air as it goes diving, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. I will make that deck save. To note, while it is near me, its speed is reduced by 10. Just for your
Okay.
note.
So it was 30 feet away when that happened.
Okay.
So, got you.
Natural 20 to a natural 1.
As Gillum turns, you are thrown
Oh no.
off of his back, and you start falling toward the ice below.
No!
I forgot it was ice and not just an ocean.
Yes,
Oh,
it
no.
is. It's the sea of moving ice, and where the ship is frozen over. So it is
Yeah.
not the frozen.
Yeah,
It
that
is
makes
not
it
the
worse.
cold part. It is frozen. Don't worry. And as you fall, I'm just grabbing. It is a 30 feet fall, and I need you to roll 3d6.
30 feet, please.
You can do that for fun. Base jumping, why not?
Base jumping.
For funsies.
So that is a dice roll that I will grab. You take 16 falling damage as I nearly roll max. You land against the side of a broken piece of ice that's jutting out of the sea of moving ice. Snapping snow falls and avalanches down with you as you slide down. You're about 20 feet away from the side of the ship as Gillum continues to dive down. We'll stop there. Let's see. We will toss you over here. We'll stop here, land on the deck rail, and it's just a large. So a young dragon is just a large creature, not a huge creature, not a massive creature, but much bigger than the wormlings that you are fighting. Brahm, you get a very good look now that it's next to you, and you can see that icy blue eye roll and look towards you. A voice from the ice creature goes, "My brother will be fine. You won't." And with a blast, cold ice comes roaring out of Gillum's frozen mouth.
In which case, Dispel Magic also goes off.
Yes, Dispel Magic. So I need you to roll because of how Dispel Magic works. Thank you. I need you to roll an Arcana. Because this is high enough that you can't just dispel it at 3rd level.
Yeah. Oh, come on. No.
A natural 1.
Oh,
You reach out with Dispel Magic. And what's Dispel Magic look like for you?
I think, and almost, let me see if, does this have material components? I don't actually know. Let me see. Where is it? There it is. No, it's just verbal and somatic. I feel like she would kind of mimic a quill, like scratching out something on a paper, and say enough, but it doesn't seem to have enough power over the magical effect encasing this wormling.
As you cast that spell, the wind picks up for just a moment, and you're fairly certain that on the wind you can hear a voice say, "What's mine is mine, unchanging, eternal." Your spell fails. The ice dragon lands, lets out a blast of cold breath, and I need a Constitution save from Braum, and I need to double measure real quick because this one is bigger than normal.
all right. He does have cold resistance, so he'll take half damage.
Right, so either way you take half damage. Astoria, you also need a con save, and the Shadow needs a con save.
Natural 20.
Natural
It's
20.
only once in 20.
And a natural 1.
Oh my god, what the hell?
That's all we're rolling tonight. That's all we're rolling tonight.
That's it. It's either it's one or the other.
What is
There's
happening?
no other choice.
No.
I'm gonna make the save for the Shadow. The Shadow just immediately disappears.
Perfect. The shadow disappears, and in its place there is a rhyme statue. It looks like an ice sculpture of the shadow, but the shadow within is gone. Braum, you are buffeted by this blast of icy breath, and it seems to react with the snow on the deck's surface, and the snow and ice starts to crawl up your leg. You are restrained.
All right.
And it requires an escape DC of 15 to get out. And then damage. Is that much? And then 28 damage, Braum. Halved,
right,
so you go down to 14.
Yep.
Astoria, you saved, so you take 14. And you are not encased in ice or restrained.
Oh, it's still
Wait,
not
wait.
looking good, fam.
PM, I'm so
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. Can I please use cutting words to try and cut a little of that damage off of the one that hit Jera?
Yes, you may.
Or hit Braum? Okay. Let me just... Where did I put my dice tab? Oh my god. Here we go. Oh, that's 8. Well, you can knock 8 off of the damage there if you want, Braum.
Hey, look, it's better. Look, that means that it only did like 6 damage, so.
There you go.
Yeah, and the way that looks is Mirth, I think, snapping something. I think he just snapped something nasty and draconic, like a cuss word or something, and it just fuck off.
With that, it's your turn, Mirth.
Mirth scrambles up onto the deck after everybody else, slipping and sliding on the ice, claws scrabbling. And he reaches up and points, and he's going to... he's going to cast Slow on it. So if you could please make a wisdom saving, oh, that would be so good.
I will do that. Where do you want to emerge from this hole?
Oh, let's see. I will stand up here on the...
You can't get that high without going around. You can only be on the deck.
Oh, I see. I have to go around. Okay, in that case, I will probably... It's always a bad time to be near Braum in a fight, to be honest, because Braum just gets the crap kicked out of him because he's big. I wonder how far I can go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30? How about I go over here where I tapped? Can I drag myself? Yes, I can. I'm capable of moving. I'm going to go there.
So we'll have you come up on this side then.
Okay.
So you'll come up here in the middle of all the ice. Because if you come up over here and then move, the dragon's going to bite at you on the way by.
Oh, right. It's right there. Thank you. I'll do something with common sense for once.
Okay. So moving in this area where that dragon's breath went, I need a dex save.
Oh, goody. Let's see.
While it was slick on the deck before, when you climb up onto it now, it is absolutely treacherous. And as you take your first couple steps, your feet start to go in 2 different directions.
I got a 16. I am an acrobat from a circus, in fact.
I
do a pirouette.
You in stride spin and can go wherever you'd like with your movement.
A pirouette followed by desperate gasping of anxiety. Like, oh, that worked. And yeah, I'm going to try and cast slow. So if it could pretty please make a wisdom saving throw. Let me see.
That's right.
See what happens.
Save. A 12.
Ah, it fails. Yeah, so it gets slowed.
So we have a slowed ice dragon.
Nice. And you know how that works.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah,
and this is again, I think Mirth is still he's very chatty. I think he's still speaking with it the entire time, and he's taking it all in. Like, he sees what happened with Sieve, which was like he's looking over. Can he see Sieve from where he's at? Because he Dragon Ball Z'd into like an ice shard across the way, right?
You probably wouldn't have much reason to look out to where Sieve is. Sieve is not on the deck.
He's just not on the dragon anymore. Okay, great. So Mirth sort of takes that in and is like, he was so hot, shit! And then I think looks around, sees Braum. Braum is a constant comfort in our lives. We appreciate that. He's kind of taking it on. And then he looks up and he says, in Draconic, don't be hasty in your vengeance. Let's talk. He slows him down.
Okay. May, it's your turn. You are currently below deck. Everyone else has made it to the top deck.
Yeah, what I had planned to do, I don't think I should do anymore. So I have to redo my plans.
You can also hold an action if you want to.
No, it's okay. Well, maybe I could. But calm emotions.
Calm emotions is definitely,
right.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm gonna try that and just.
It is specifically humanoid.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
God, that's so smart, though.
Mm-hmm.
That would have worked really well, if only.
Yep, specifically people. So sorry.
Curses human limitations.
Well, dragon. You can say they're not people. They are.
Not this one.
Oh. I tried.
Well, you did. Of course, you don't cast it. You know, your character knows it won't work.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I guess I will just make my way up quietly.
Okay.
Hold actions that I don't.
So I'll have you come up the steps, and you will still be hidden. You rolled so well to hide. You took your action to hide, so you're essentially hidden as you come up the steps that lead up to the deck. Astoria is in front of you, not looking great. She's looking to be in pretty rough shape. As ice is forming at like the corners of her eyes.
Okay. And I can see they're still definitely targeting me.
Oh yeah, there's violence and mayhem on the top deck.
Okay. That didn't work. So. Sorry.
All right. When plans change, it throws everything off.
Yeah.
Totally fine. Feel free to talk aloud too if you want to like bounce ideas.
I am going to cast Alter Self.
Okay.
And it's a different form.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I did so much else conversation. Going to I just want to make myself look like I have scales and I have two spiky arm things. I don't know what you call them.
Sure.
And this is so stupid of me. I'm going to jump out and make noise to distract.
Perfect. Gellum looks over as you appear.
You weren't with them earlier, but you're with them now. You'll die as well.
Myself.
We'll see.
My name is Spike.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, she said, my name is Spike. Holds up to her Spike things.
Your name won't matter soon enough.
Your name matters. It doesn't matter either.
Steve, you're about 20 feet away, or somewhere around 20 feet away from the side of the ship, laying in the snow.
How far is the dragon from me in a straight line?
20, 30 feet.
30 feet?
Yep.
Perfect. You can't get rid of me that easy. And I pop again. Shooting star straight back onto the dragon's back again.
Okay.
And now I am on the back.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna just kind of like put 2 feet over where the wormling is.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna start stabbing down, like with my rapier, like an ice pick, straight down into, hopefully, making contact with the wormling.
Go ahead and make an attack. This time the dragon is moving a lot more slowly.
Good. Make things easier for me. First one is a 15.
15 is enough. Exactly
and the
enough.
Second is a 15.
Also enough.
All right. So that's going to be that much plus that much plus, forgive me, that much in radiant damage, and that much in radiant damage. Okay. I don't know how much was. 17, 20, 27 points of damage.
27 points of damage as your rapier starts jabbing down into this thing. Ice is chipping away, and the eye of that wormling turns towards you again.
I don't know you either, but this is the second time you've found yourself there.
Well, it won't be the last either. And how's everybody else looking?
Oh, everybody's
So
there.
bad.
Everyone can see.
Well, is anyone looking pretty rough right
Yeah,
now? Okay.
I'm looking
I'm
real
gonna-
bad, Chief.
I'm just gonna do like a little flip somersault in the air and land up on this deck so that I can draw attention away from that side.
Okay.
And I'm gonna action surge.
Okay.
And use an ability called where are you? Shielding Aurora.
Okay.
So the kind of like the Aurora Borealis begins to shift around me, almost in like a shielding way. So I gain resistance to all damage, and I will let you know if the other thing applies. But that is my turn.
Okay. One thing you do notice when this happens, rather than the multicolors of the aurora that you're used to when you use this, the color of the aurora that surrounds you is strictly green. It is only the green hues of the aurora that surround you.
Ooh.
Sir Braum, you're restrained, but still standing more or less next to a large, angry, icy dragon.
Okay. So he's going to try and break the restrained condition.
Okay. So breaking out of restraint takes an action, and you can do either an athletics or an acrobatics to escape. You are close enough that you can just attack the dragon, and there's no I think you're let me double check. You would have disadvantage to attack until you're not restrained anymore, but you could if you wanted. It's an either or.
Okay. Then he'll since it's right next to him, he's probably going to try and strike at it.
Okay.
I will do this twice, I guess, since he normally attacks twice, and I have to take a disadvantage.
The 11 misses. The 19 hits.
He's going to do his smite and branding smite on it.
Okay, so branding smite would be a bonus action before you smite.
Correct. And then he's going to do smite at level 2.
Okay.
Which is...
Pull up branding smite. Look at it again.
And the divine smite is 2d8.
All right. You swing your greatsword at this creature. The first swing is slow, but it's slow. It reaches a claw up and knocks it out of the air. But your second swing connects perfectly. And you did have divine smite checked already, so the 13, 9, and 12 is a lot of numbers. 22, 34 damage. As your second one connects, and there's this and this hiss of steam as the branding smite, the radiant light shines and just shimmers through the icy body of this creature. That would be your turn, Astoria.
Yeah, it's obviously not looking good. Just kind of falters a little bit. This isn't going to work. And is going to use a bonus action to cast Healing Word on herself. Using my last 3rd level spell slot. Let me just roll that real fast. Okay, so 9. That's not too bad.
9. There you go.
So I'll put that on here real fast. And where, like, in relation to Astoria is the ship bell?
It is to your right about 10 feet. Right over here.
Yeah.
Right in a patch. You see that patch of green grass and wildflowers and the bell sitting in the middle of it.
She kind of takes that in, being a sign of Mercutio, nearby. The dots have connected, and she is going to pick up the ship bell and just go ahead and ring it.
Okay. You ring this bell, and it releases a a solid tone. It doesn't look like that special of a bell. It's just a simple, cold cast iron bell. It says Dark Duchess along the lip, and you ring it as just dong. And you can, as you look around, you see the frozen ice around the ship. You can actually see it ripple as the energy of the bell passes through. That rang the bell.
Alrighty, I think I am going to call it that.
Okay. Bell rang. Add. Move that to there. Which is 10. Alright, that's it for your turn.
That's it.
All right, we will be taking a break soon. Foxy will be on his way over, and when he gets here, we'll take a break. We'll do the White Dragon's turn and go from there. So Gellum is not looking good. Moving slowly. Parts of the icy body that they're inhabiting have broken off and are starting to fall off. For all mechanical purposes, the dragon looks bloodied. And its head is going to rock back and forth between Sieve and Braum, and it'll glare at Sieve, and I'm double checking slow. I think it just gets one of its attacks. Speed is halved, -2 penalty to AC, which we've been doing. No reactions. Yep. Either it's action or a bonus action, not both. First, it'll see if its icy breath recharges. It does not, and so it will only take its action, which is multi-attack. So its head is going to swing over at Sieve and try and take a big bite, and right after the dragon's turn, we'll take a break. So the dragon, a 24 to hit, Sieve.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That is 23 piercing damage and 8 cold damage.
No, I'm cutting words that.
Okay, cutting words.
It's not going to do
attack
much.
roll. The attack roll or the damage?
Oh wait, the damage.
The damage, yeah. It'll be reducing damage.
Yeah. Wait.
Double check.
Well, I don't know what the roll was. All I know is it hit. Ty, what do you think? Do you want me to have a go at? Because either one, Mirth could easily flavor. They're kind of negligible. Like, which one? Do you have a preference?
Listen. If we were more well acquainted, our characters at this point, I think the answer would be one thing. But it's up to you. Whatever you think.
In that case, I think it's more. I'm sorry. I think it's more fun. I think we're try and cutting words to distract with the hope that it wouldn't hit you. And I'm so sorry in advance. Let's see what we get on.
Nope, that's fine. Either way is fine with me.
Let's roll. 7.
Bardic inspiration. 7. So 24 minus 7 is 15. 16. Wait. 23, 22, 23.
It would have been more
17.
than 24.
Does a 17 hit?
24
minus 7.
Did you do it on the attack roll or the damage? I thought you did the damage.
They intended to do it on the attack roll.
The attack roll. Sorry.
Then a 17 does not hit.
Okay, the 17 misses. The dragon roars, and both of its claws slash out at you in a rage. 14 will miss. A 22 will hit for 8 slashing.
Yes, 22 will hit. 8 slashing. Got it.
That is the dragon's turn, and
at the end of the dragon's turn, because it stays within 10 feet of me, as the claw hits, it kind of leaves open this brightly glowing wound that just flashes in the dragon's face, and the dragon's going to take 12 radiant damage.
Okay. The light shines through its icy scales. Gillum growls. Mother promised me vengeance. Vengeance. And that's where we're going to take a brief break. So we'll be back shortly. Thanks so much, Foxy, if you want to count me out. I will see you guys, in 5 minutes or so. See you then. Thank you for hanging out as we took a much-needed break. We are going to dive right back into a very angry ice dragon that has just barely missed taking a bite out of our new guest, Sieve, and roll over to the top of the order with Mirth.
I would like to try and persuade Gillum to give up. With the following factors in mind, Mirth wounded, and it's not looking good. It doesn't take a genius to see that. And we have a couple of things on him, and brilliant Astoria rang the bell like a freaking genius. So Mirth blows you a kiss of just like, thank you. And I think turns, and I'm going to give up my action to have a conversation, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use my turn to talk. And Mirth says, he sees what has happened here. He sees that this kid has been groomed by an evil goddess to take his angry emotions, take the power she's given him at a great price, and do bad things, right? This is a thing that's coming from grief and anger. And he's a dragon. He has his own, he's still a dragon. This may well not work, but Mirth feels a connection with dragons for obvious reasons and is willing to have a small go at it. And he says, beware the Queen of Frost, young Gillum. She does not have your best interest at heart. I know she must have tricked you. Take your clutchmate and leave us in peace. Growing a future together is far superior to any vengeance.
All right. Go ahead and roll persuasion at disadvantage because you are in the middle of a fight with this thing.
Yeah, but persuasion's what I do. Watch me get a 1. Watch me. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Where's my... Hell yeah. 18?
18. So Gillum looks your way. The ice armor is cracking. You can actually see the wormling curled up inside the ice sculpture's chest, twitching, moving a little bit, seeming to react to your words. Gillum pulls back, takes like one step back from the edge. You killed my clutch mate. You have the one that remains. I was promised. Gillum starts shaking his head back and forth. He seems probably partially convinced, but not entirely. So mechanically, I think one more success of a persuasive or intimidatory nature would probably, quote-unquote, finish him off. So you can choose whether to do so militantly or...
Oh, do I get another roll to have a go at this?
No, I just mean this is for everyone. So I wanted to translate your success into a mechanical effect, which is if there's one more success like this...
Let's be nice to him. He's a baby. And he's scared. It's easy to intimidate, but I think if we take a gentler tact, we might actually see success. Because we're already scarier than him, to be honest. Mm-hmm. He's in a mecha, but he's babby. Like, that's Mirth's opinion, anywho. Okay, thank you. That was my turn.
All right. May, it's your turn.
Okay, I was admiring my spikes on my arms, so I kind of wasn't paying attention. Because I was just
you didn't miss much. The fight continued. Sieve dodged a few attacks. The dragon seems a little uncertain right now. Mirth is suggesting a less violent solution to end this.
Okay. How's everybody looking? Like,
Astoria looks awful.
Yeah, still not great, but mildly better than a couple seconds ago.
how far away is Astoria from me?
About 10 feet away from you.
Okay, I am going to say, Astoria, may I please try to help you?
Much obliged.
Okay, so I'm actually going to use the mentioned door with Astoria to take them away as far away as still is, so that we can see everybody at least, but far enough away that they're not going to get blasted if things go south.
Okay. Now the question is, do you want to remain on the ship that's frozen in the ice, or go out into the ice somewhere?
So go to the cabin. Or
Astoria,
somewhere safe inside.
I don't think you can go inside something, but you can go like 200 feet away. You can see
how far away is the cabin?
There's a cabin below. There's also a cabin just behind the two of you, underneath where the wheel is, right here.
I mean, the way Dimension Door works is you can specify a certain distance and a direction. It's just if you end up like inside a wall or something, you take damage. You're ejected out.
Okay, so directly to the cabin, the furthest cabin, to the door.
Okay, I see. Yep, I'm reading it now. A place you can visualize, or by stating the distance and direction. Okay.
And I was like,
so,
I gotta go, and I'm just gonna dimension door that way.
So you want to go 15 feet. So basically, the two of you are next to each other here, and you want to go 15 feet straight south toward this cabin down here.
So we can get into the door and get safe.
Okay, you can do that. You grab a hold of Astoria, and what does Dimension Door look like for you?
It looks like it's like a bunch of confetti, I guess.
Okay. There is this burst of confetti, and the two of you blip backwards and find yourselves inside a cabin. I don't recall which one off the top of my head. Let me double check which one it is real quick. You both land in a heap on top of a table in the middle. Roll off onto the sides. It's just that's just the aft castle. The 8. It is the captain's cabin. Yeah, you so May and Neo had checked this out at some point earlier on. There's a nicer bed, an empty chest off to the side where you had gotten a few things. I think that's where you had gotten the ice armor and the rapier. But you are behind a closed door. You can hear the sounds on the other side, but you're feeling fairly safe at the moment. Steve, it is your turn.
Yeah, first things first, I'm gonna use a bonus action to heal up a little bit. A little second wind.
Okay.
So I'll do that. But I need to, Steve's in combat mode right now, so obviously was going to go in for another attack. But hearing Mirth talk to, has it always been in Draconic, or is it in Common?
It's been in Draconic, but Mirth would be doing everything in his power to be transparent. He's not someone to keep languages, so he would be almost exaggerating for your benefit, everybody, because, he doesn't like whisper games.
And the dragon has been responding to Draconic, I'm assuming.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
It has. Okay. But just simple. I won't even make you roll to see it. The body language of both is there is an exchange, and the dragon is receiving it in a way that is good for you, not bristling more.
Okay, I'm gonna just make a D20 roll. If it's 10 or higher, then I get the message. Gee, cool.
Whatever you would like to do.
Okay, so I realize that we're trying to kind of bait it to calm down, and so Steve is going to step forward and place the tip of the rapier kind of at the jugular line, and just say, Dublaneth Nakin Drakon. Which, if anyone speaks Sylvan, they'll recognize you've been bested, dragon. And Steve is going to try to intimidate the dragon to calm down.
It's like when Dad's mad at you.
Okay. You can make an intimidation check. You are still in combat, so it is at disadvantage.
Okay.
But go ahead. It's not going to be particularly easy.
That is an 18.
18 is exactly what I had in mind. So the dragon's wings crinkle, and the ice crystals sparkle in the starlight as these massive wings start to fold in. Why would she lie?
Just looking over at Mirth.
Oh, is this a moment I could reply, or is that not situationally appropriate? It
Feel free.
is.
We're going to drop out of combat mode. So anyone who would like can exchange freely.
Oh, wow. Good job, Steve. As the dragon, as this little guy, big guy, is this mecha riding dragon sort of lowers his head and is like, why would she lie? Mirth is actually going to translate by like basically whispering to the rest of the party on the same time. Like, we can't sign, but it's the equivalent of just doing a fast translation, and is will translate for any of you if you have something you want to tell it. So if anybody wants to tell him why it's a bad idea to trust the freaking Frost Queen, happy to relay that.
Can I see them from the cabin?
So you hear everything quiet down.
Okay.
So I'm perfectly fine with the two of you kind of creaking the door open to take a look. And you can see that things has quieted down. So you can walk out and say something if you
Anything to say? I just want to be involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Come on out here.
The door opens
wanna
up. The
give
two of
us,
you kind of creep out, see what's going on. I have to move you back to this deck.
So Mirth's
I
been doing
guess
a
it's
lot of
over there.
talking. I want to give an opportunity for other people to talk to the dragon and just have Mirth be translating ambiently in the background if you want to. Anybody. Otherwise, I'll do it, but first dibs. Astoria, are we feeling chatty, or are you just wiping teeth off the ground here? Like,
is someone gonna catch her up? Because she's like walking back to this plant. I'm not sure if like.
oh, how
she
far
heard
did
the
you get
question.
blown far
You
away?
No, not too far. You can see the dragon has at least calmed down, and you, as the two of you walk out toward it, you hear it say, "Why would she lie?"
That's all she does, says Braum, and he's going to try and break himself free while you're talking.
Okay. Just for the humor of it, give me an athletics or an acrobatics. We'll see how many times this takes you.
Probably a lot. Let me see. Let's see, is the thingy. Ah, all right.
Yeah, you break through.
Okay, he just like flexes and it cracks off, like, and he puts since they're no longer fighting, he's a little too bristly to want to carry on like a deceleration sort of conversation right now, but he puts his sword back in its sheath and brings out the dragon egg and kind of like holds it, waiting. He's waiting for the dragon to decide what it's going to decide.
Okay.
Oh, I have a quick question, by the way, to hop in there. Was this were they imprisoned by the cultists when we found them? These, presumably, was that sort of the deduction we rose to, team? Brahm, do you remember?
Yeah, they were behind the bars of like an iron cage, and we opened it to go look for stuff.
And then the cultists were like, we have the cold in the night, and like, all that
yeah.
stuff.
So, well, what happened was, as we were fighting the cultists, the dragons hatched out, and we're like, oh, whoops. And then we let we accidentally let the baby dragons out because we had unlocked all the cages.
We did. Okay, so I'm going to obviously translate what Braum said with dignity as he's breaking out of his ice thing, and then I'm going to add to Gillum, she is an evil goddess who blights this once pristine frozen land. Her cultists imprison young dragons like common dogs. She is not your ally.
A lot of things. If they want to get what they want, and even if it costs others dearly.
And yet she gave me this.
The dragon kind of flexes as it would be many turnings of the sun and moon before I would be this size, this strength.
You know, that's really nice. Good craftsmanship.
It is perfect.
Yeah.
She made it for me.
She did that's a really nice thing. And I have this great group here. We all just want to. I'm trying to give them a motivating speech.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go around and compliment all of you. And the motivation speech, it gives you a 10 temporary hit points.
Okay. All of you get 10 HP?
On the next. No, I'm sorry, 5. I'm sorry.
Okay, 5. That's fine.
Is it 5?
Everybody gets 5 temp HP.
We'll take it.
But now it says 5. I don't understand.
It probably jumps up. I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
You get 10 hit points of a certain amount.
And you have an advantage on wisdom saving throws.
Nice.
Perfect.
But I'm drawing a blank on what to say in the speech. I'm sorry, but it's super.
That's okay. You can
You
can just narrate that you do a cool speech. It's totally valid.
A speech.
Mm-hmm.
May walks around encouraging all of you during this, and you all feel a little bit better. Do you include Gellum in this speech? Are you going to give them hit points as well?
Only for people friendly, right?
Well, at this point, it's your choice, and I'm letting you go ahead and make a choice as to whether you want to consider the dragon friendly or not.
This is a choice.
It is a choice. It's only 5 hit points.
And he's not trying to blow us up anymore.
No, we're negotiating with it.
He has settled back and entered negotiations.
You know what? I'm so sorry if this gets us killed, but I am.
Okay. You include the dragon. It's 5 extra hit points, and the frozen wormling within the chest of this dragon. It's
tomorrow.
Eye kind of rolls and looks in your direction. She said I would be this way forever. Look how strong I am.
And yet, look how this ragtag group that hardly knows each other could take that down somewhat easily.
Gillum just kind of pauses for a moment to take in what just...
For logic.
I mean, that was just a little bit of help I gave you there. I could do more.
Perhaps I'm being too hasty. Perhaps the wind picks up a little bit. And all of you can hear a voice on the wind.
Oh no.
What is mine is mine. And Gellum within just pauses for a moment, and the entire creature, the entire ice dragon, slows down even more. It's not only Mirth's spell that has slowed this creature, but those cracks that you made in it start to fill in, and it begins to stop moving.
She's gonna trap him.
Will always be. What is promised to me will always be mine.
The wind blows across, and this ice dragon freezes on the side of this ship and stops moving.
Rude.
That's so sad.
What a sore loser, says Braum, and he moves to try and break the hatchling out. Does anyone have the ability to create heat?
Yeah, I can heat metal.
Oh, heat a sword.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, I'll heat metal your sword if you like.
Just don't heat his armor.
Oh.
You just take out an oven mitt. As long as you're mostly covered up.
Look, friend. That is a method.
Yeah.
The two of them start to try and chisel the dragon out. Astoria, Steve, what are you up to?
I still determine if the magic itself has any holding of magic still.
So the magic, yes. This was a spell cast by a goddess. So your ability to dispel it at 7th level is non-existent. This was a powerful transformation spell that has taken place. That bell, though, that rang as Brahm and Mirth start working at trying to remove the wormling from its the icy prison. And the ice is... Brahm, this reminds you of the ice that's used in by the servants of Levistus. It's
I had a feeling.
unusually hard ice. I mean, it's divine ice. It's not normal ice. So you two are working at it, but it's taking a little bit. And Astoria, you see off to the side, there is about 200 feet away from the ship, an area of open water. And there is this, as you see, a burst of water spout go up in the air. I said 200, probably 100 feet away, not 200. And the head of this blue whale that some of you met earlier sticks over the top, Angajuk. And you hear at that distance, you rang.
Oh, that timing is great.
Astoria will turn to the rest. Looks like our ride is here.
This has been a nice boat trip, but let's go.
So we get the wormling out.
I need more time, says Braum.
I have a question. How likely is it, Dane, that we're actually going to be able to break through this enchanted ice? Because
you're making progress.
Okay, then. All right.
Yep, I was going to let you know that after Angajuk showed up, you are making progress, but it is slow.
Just a minute. Hold the elevator.
Wait.
Is there anything in a captain's cabin that make like fire? Would that help at all?
You can start a fire if you'd like. Yeah.
So I could just quickly borrow something permanently from inside of there and bring it out to.
There's a broken up chair. You grab it and you start making a fire underneath the statue. Perfect.
It's already broken. I'm just recycling.
Steve is just kind of leaning against the railing up top, and he notices that there are like multiple different people with cloaks on the boat. But Braum is not wearing a cloak. And he looks down at this kind of like shimmering fabric that's draped over his shoulders with a crescent moon lock. Kind of shakes his head a little bit, unlocks it. Braum
stops hacking.
For assisting me in battle. May it keep you ever warm. He's going to toss you the cloak.
Braum is usually the giver of cloaks, not the receiver of cloaks. So he just kind of like catches it, just like, oh. He actually has two hands off of the sword, so the sword's just kind of like stuck in the ice, like kind of, you know when the metal like melts the thing, just kind of like slides through, like when you're doing ice cream. It's like, but thank you. That's very good. He turns very red, and he just kind of like puts it on. Does it look nice on me?
It looks absolutely splendid. Now keep it safe. If we ever get to warmer areas, I'll want it back. That was given to me by a goddess. And he'll kind of turn away and walk towards the railing of the ship and just kind of look out to take in the surrounding.
I'll be sure to give it back when things are warmer.
Mirth
Thank
snickers quietly.
The fire that May set starts to pick up, and you're able to start a pretty substantial fire. It is a wooden ship, but I mean, after all, you're not planning on staying on it.
The kobolds okay though? Let's not immolate them.
They were next.
Kobolds.
The kobolds, after hearing how quiet it was for a while, crawl out. There are these 4 kobolds of various hued scales that make their way up to the top. Why is it? Usually the dragons are trying to eat. It's not a dragon anymore. It's just a model. What? It's just a model of a dragon. Oh, why are you burning the? Like these 4 voices just start talking at once. Is it dead?
There's a baby
Not
inside.
quite.
Now quiet, my acolytes. We're trying to rescue it, Mirth says. And he's saying it jokingly and kind of under breath. And he actually looks pretty pressed. Not about the kobolds, but about the whole situation. Because he is livid, even more so than usual, at this horrible goddess that is just ruining and manipulating the place that he is coming to be. No matter how ugly this region appears to be, the longer that Mirth is staying here, the more he cares for it and sees like the potential of beauty and the beauty that was and still lies buried beneath. And I think that whenever this goddess makes her hateful self known, he's like he really, as the game has gone on, his disdain for her like exponentially has increased.
Yeah, as it should.
Yeah, and he's not happy right now. There's some cute moments that, but he's not happy with this interaction. Although it ended without murder, without anybody dying, it's still not a great. The situation still sucks.
It takes some time. Angujuk off to the side, every 10, 15 minutes or so. Are you ready? No, not yet. Takes longer. 15 minutes, the fire is roaring, smoke going up in the air. As is the case in Icewind Dale, the wind picks up, the snow starts falling, you lose a lot of visibility. Another 15 minutes, another 15 minutes. The kobolds bicker with each other constantly. After about an hour in or so, you make enough progress that just the tip of the dragon's tail, of the wormling's tail, is able to escape the ice. And the eye rolls to look at you as the only thing that can move, and the tail starts to flick just a little bit. I need everyone to roll a perception check.
5.
Sign language.
5, 6.
No.
15.
10, 13,
11.
11.
15 with a 5.
Oh, 15, sorry. The group of you, you're making progress, you're feeling good. Angujuk is starting to, maybe get impatient. It's kind of hard to tell. Their voice pitch doesn't change too much. But with the 15 being the highest and the distraction of working on this, you don't really notice until quite suddenly the entire bow and front of this ship pitches as a massive weight lands on the very front. There is a moment of blasting wind that you just thought was part of the blizzard,
No.
but wasn't.
No. What is it?
As a huge ancient dragon lands on the bow.
We can explain.
There is a shudder.
Oh, crappy.
A dark figure is in a saddle on the back of this creature.
She has a rider now?
She always had a
It has
rider.
had a rider.
Yeah, no, but it was like a flopping dead corpse. Is it now a living?
Still is.
There-
Nope, still
Oh,
a
okay.
flopping dead corpse.
Oh, that's rough.
Time
Time to put on my
Arviderace
rider costume.
herself descends through the blowing snow while everyone's distracted working on this, lands on the ship. Who is burning my vault? And starts swinging her head back and forth. Sieve, you're only a few feet away, and this head that is as big around as you could possibly wrap your hands around snaps to just about 10 feet away from you. You see clouded eyes covered in cataracts and just a glint of recognition as the nostrils flare, her head twists, and she says, "Who are you?"
Mm-mm.
Directly to you, Sieve.
Yeah, Sieve, who is wounded, knows the party is wounded. Turns, looks at the group, and just says, "Run."
Everyone needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
We have
Why,
advantage.
you fools?
Yeah, very much. Ugh.
Oh, we have
It's
advantage.
15. Eh.
From what
Got a
May
nat
did.
20.
Nat 20,
Oh.
perfect.
Okay, let me roll again then.
Oh,
I
yeah,
forgot.
16.
16,
Okay, no, we'll take that 15.
15, 14. The DC is a 16. So
No.
everyone that failed is frightened and must run away.
Fair enough.
Arviderace turns her head, looks and says, "Run indeed." Her mouth opens and a blast of cold breath sweeps across this upper deck. I need a Constitution save from Sieve, who is the only one on the upper deck.
Oh,
No. No.
10.
10 is not enough. As you take...
I use cutting words.
it won't work with saves, but you can do it to reduce the damage.
I will.
Okay. Let me toss the damage in here. Oh, wait.
Other way around.
It is
That's how you make a
16
Reddit
D8
thread.
slash R. Well, what's the roll
No,
command, dang it?
Slash R space, then the dice.
All right, there we go.
Oh my
79
God.
damage.
Dude.
Sieve,
No.
What do you mean?
as Sieve freezes solid.
Yeah, just in the last moment before he's completely frozen, just looks down at Brahm and Mirth, and then slightly like points a finger over towards the whale, and then just flash freeze.
No! Jesus.
The kobolds look at each other. They look at all of you. They look at Arviderace, and they go, "Oh shit!" They push one of the 4 in front of them, and the other 3 run.
Hey, don't leave me here! What's going on?
Oh,
Anyone want to stick around?
I can't legally. Mirth would, but he can't.
Can we grab Steve?
Do you want to stick
you can
around
try-
to go up there? That will be your choice. I am not going to alter your choice in any way, shape, or form.
Guys, she's an ancient dragon.
Is
This is not like a cute thing. This is not like running towards being like, haha, I can serve.
like
This is
death is very real.
Drag. She probably rolled low just now.
Mhm.
Like she probably rolled like she probably didn't even. It was like a sneeze. Like we cannot try and fight this.
Just gonna
No.
leave.
You can
And-
cutting.
We can't even negotiate with her because the one person that can speak Draconic is running away like a big fat chicken. So there's nothing we can do. Unless you guys have any idea.
So what it comes down to, so you know, Astoria and Mirth immediately run. You're both frightened. So it leaves Braum and May to make the choice whether to run after, and you can tell me what you want to do, you two.
All right. Braum is not going to try and fight this thing. He would have tried to tell it that its baby is here, but he can't speak Draconic.
Okay.
So what he's going to do instead is, let's see, what can he do? He's going to.
I guess the biggest question for Braum is, do you want to drop the egg?
Hmm.
I don't know if he wants to now, because then he'd just worry that it's going to be smashed because she can't see.
But she can smell real good is the thing.
It's true. It could
Like
smell.
she's like Lord of Koto. Just put the egg in front of her to distract her. I don't know. Good luck.
That's actually not a bad idea because he's going to. Yeah. All right. So unfortunately, he's going to move up here, and he's not going to say anything because she is blind and he doesn't know. She doesn't know where he is. But he's going to gently roll the egg in her direction, very slowly.
Okay.
Well, not slowly, but across the top of the ship.
Right?
How far away is he from?
And then, let's see. So that would be an action.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. And where are you going after rolling the egg that way?
Far away. Braum. Don't
Wow,
die, Braum.
He's a moron. He's got a
Braum.
chronic
be a
moron. He's got chronic moron disease. He's
Doesn't
gonna
that happen to deer? Wait, never mind. That's prion disease.
no.
Ugh.
No, he's going to try and well, I mean, afterwards, his next action would be he's going to try and take Steve with them. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that.
Okay.
We're
You
doing
reach
so
up.
well.
We'll do this. You have enough movement. You roll the egg forward. You crawl up and you grab a hold of like Steve's ankle,
Mhm.
pull Steve along. And when you do, Steve's ankle comes with you,
Ooh.
and the rest of Steve falls and shatters on the deck.
Ah.
Boy, a
Okay.
popsicle.
I gotta
you have-
roll.
You have Steve's ankle.
No,
Uh,
don't say that.
Hey, we could use reincarnate.
Yeah, he's gonna
Do we have that?
Not yet.
eventually. Now I gotta roll for, let's see, what kind of save would this be? I'm gonna roll a wisdom save for him. Okay. Braum, like, holds in whatever sound he was gonna make and takes the ankle and will run towards the creature.
Run towards...
Ankaju.
Okay, toward the whale. All right, and May, what'd you decide you were going to do?
Well, originally I was going to run and grab Steve and do Dimension Door to the whale.
Okay.
But I can't do that now.
Okay.
Rip.
So I'm just going to run with everyone else.
You can grab Braum and Dimension Door to the whale if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Or you could... There is also a small kobold that was left behind.
Hey, don't leave me here, please!
I'm just going to say bye to the kobold because he's got some friends.
The friends are going the opposite direction.
He's got no friends.
I think he's gonna
Feels like a him problem.
Well, I really can't help the kobold.
No problem. All right, you run for it.
This is so bad.
And then our Croc, what are you up to?
Just looks at Big Dragon, looks at friends leaving. New friends? New friends. And he just whoosh, jumps straight towards the whale. I mean, he's a barbarian. He can jump.
Yep.
He'll take some falling damage. Who cares? He's a
No, that's all right. It's cinematic.
a
group of you.
just full on sprint.
The group of you go running. You can hear behind you Arviderace.
Cadmus. Kill him.
Good job.
The sound fades as you go running. It doesn't take too long to cover the 100 feet to the whale sticking its head out of the water. Took you all long enough. You
Sorry
rang,
about that.
said you needed to go to the island.
Yes.
This massive whale mouth opens.
Oh no. Oh, nobody said
We don't have a
anything.
choice, Mirth. Come on.
Oh no.
You hear behind you Arviderace, this
What has she taken from me?
I call the Bailey.
Where did they go?
Yeah, that's why you just run. I just want to run in. I don't care.
Same.
you Mirth
changes his
pauses,
tune.
May shoots past and dives in the mouth. Croc is a half step behind, I'm sure.
Yeah, away we go.
As Croc is a little. You're a kobold now. You absolute mischief maker. Was this your plan all along? You made me sad. That's actually freaking brilliant. But yeah, as this little kobold comes booking it in, I think Mirth is like, what the? Like, as you skitter by, and who are we all in the mouth now? And is Arviderace, can we see her still on the ship? You said there was like noises up there?
Arviderace takes flight. Mirth, who I'm going to say is the last one in. Is that all right, Mirth?
Yeah.
You turn to look, and Arviderace has taken to the air and is starting to do circles around the boat that are getting larger and larger, like she's looking. And every time she's coming around to the side you're on, you can hear,
Where are they? Belrond, use your spells. Find them.
Oh. See, I want to read their story someday. Mirth slaps the side of the whale's tonsil and says, "Okay, buddy, let's go." Close her up.
the mouth closes and you can feel the rumbling underneath you. It will take some time. Water starts sloshing, and it is icy, freezing cold water that comes up to about mid-shin level. You look around, the space inside of Blue Whale's mouth is quite large. The esophagus is only about 9 inches wide, though, in the back, so everyone is safe from being swallowed.
Great.
Makes sense.
You can feel your ears pop as the pressure changes, as you must have gone underwater. And there is nothing but a constant whale song, very quiet, coming from deep within. And that is where we will end for the evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are going to take just a couple of minutes to do a little bit of wrap up. I like to do something, if you haven't been on a stream that I run before, I like to take just a couple minutes to unwind on stream, talk about what happened, what we liked, what we didn't like, things that went well, things that went poorly, all that sort of thing. We really want to have a very open table about what we're enjoying, so that we can help encourage each other and all have fun together. So that's what we're going to do for only the next 5 minutes, 6 minutes at most, before we do our sign off. New channel, everyone.
New channel. Who dis?
Everyone here enjoyed the show. It's good being here. Yes, we planned on killing Steve. How's everyone feel about that?
You bloody geniuses.
Yes,
That's freaking brilliant, honestly. I did not see that coming. I found it delightful. And I definitely had a lot of emotions. I was so ashamed that Steve died on our watch. I was so sad for you, Ty. I was like, great, our guest player's character dies. But I'm happy because Braum gets to experience what Mirth felt when he lost Gerard.
Oh my God, Gerard! I forgot about Gerard.
He's got an ankle. He's sitting on the whale's tongue, with an ankle wrapped in his spare scrap of Band-Aid. Not Band-Aid, but the bandage wrap.
How dare you give him a cloak and then just die?
Yeah,
How dare you?
He's now just kind of sitting there. He can't. It's I don't know if you've ever had a bad thing happen to you, but right when it happens, you can't even cry. You're just numb, very numb, Can't do anything. Just kind of sitting there. I was rolling earlier because that act happening was so horrible. I had to roll to see if he'd make a noise, and if Iterace would obviously know where he was, and so that would be a very bad idea. But he did roll well enough that he didn't scream or yell or whatever. But yeah, he's just sitting there in shock on the floor, on the whale tongue, in the gross water. Whale slobber water.
Yeah, no, totally was planning on playing Steve from the moment that I was invited up until about 2 days ago. And then I was like, it would be funny.
You're one of the kobolds in the closet.
But it was good. It was good, though, I have to say.
I don't know. I've always wanted to play a kobold. I genuinely really liked Steve. Their class combination and the character itself was really cool. Who knows? I might play Steve in the future, but I don't know.
Try and resurrect his ankle.
Yeah,
we just gotta save it until we get reincarnate.
Yeah, exactly.
Just gotta save the ankle.
Yeah.
What does an ankle even
Put
look
it in the
like?
jar.
If there's not a foot attached or a femur or whatever. What? I don't know. Single ankle.
It's just a single ankle.
Looks like a chicken leg bone.
Oh my God.
So as we do, we tend to swing between RP heavy sessions where we don't roll too much combat dice and big fights like this one. This was obviously a big fight one. Everybody good with kind of that big fight? Feel like it flowed pretty well. Anything that could have gone more, better, worse? Did you? Was it interesting that Gellum came back? And how do you feel about leaving him behind?
Feel bad. Feel bad about leaving him behind. Feel bad about
Everything.
honestly. Yeah, the dragon thinking it's our fault. You know, also just all things. I think the boxes are like, you know, like those little like checklist things you get where you can fill in a check for like, you know, if you do a good job. I think like Braum has like 3 or 4 of those and they're all just like empty. No check mark.
No check mark.
So
for that.
sad.
No check mark for those resolutions.
So, one of my big goals with this, something I've been reflecting on, you know, we're 29 sessions in, and I've been reflecting on the sessions we've had, and one of the things that, you know, has been intentional to a degree with the Frostmaiden is that she's this problem that's there, and you can see what she does pretty evidently, but she herself isn't as directly involved. And there's been her servants, you know, those barbarians that where you first met Gellum, Revisin, who there wasn't too much of an exchange with Revisin, but Revisin was probably the highest ranking servant of the Frostmaiden you've run into so far. But one of the things I realized is, you know, I really need to help everybody hate the Frostmaiden a little bit more.
I hate her.
And there was some intentionality to what was going on. Because, I mean, you need to hate the villains. And, you know, it's easy to just make her villainy abstract. Oh, she's made it super cold in the place that's already cold, but everybody's doing okay, I guess. Into something a little bit more tangible. So I hope that came across well.
Yeah, it did. It was really good. I want to thank everybody for being being indulgent about role-playing possibilities of non-violence. Violence is awesome. We love it, but I think it takes a group to be willing to look at different possibilities, which I think can always be interesting. Not always. Combat is freaking amazing, and sometimes it is super necessary, but also it's pretty cool that like we tried in a very high stakes circumstance. We took a really risky thing by trying to communicate, and not every table would be tolerant of that. Like I know many tables that would be like, absolutely not, that takes time, that's maybe but I really appreciate all for being open to the bards having a go at it. However it turned out so well.
Honestly, that's one of the big things I have to keep in mind as GM is we have 4 bards, or we had 4 bards. We have, you know, 3 permanent bards.
Yeah.
And having 3 permanent bards means there has to be more options than just the fight. So mechanically, I want it to still be a fight. So essentially, Mirth, what I was thinking in my head, so the Gellum had about 44 hit points left. So what I was thinking was, okay, well, the big hitters have been hitting for 20, 30, 35 damage. You did really well with that presentation, so I essentially did 35 points of damage to the enemy.
Oh, cool. So that's how you get them.
They had like this arbitrary 11 hit left, where it would only take one more thing, and then Sieve's intimidation was high enough to hit, so to speak, and do that damage to beat the boss. So it's, you know, one of the things that's really fun when you play with numbers, whether it's D&D or any other tabletop RPG, is the numbers can be whatever you want them to be. So instead of swinging a sword and reducing the numbers, you gave a speech about how not serving the Frostmaiden would be a good idea, and I just turned it into numbers. So it's you know, it's not an instant win button, because I think those are kind of a cop-out, but it is tangible and measurable progress. So anyway, that's a little behind the screen thing of what I did. But that's been us for this evening. We thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go around the table with our outros, and then we will be out of here. So we are going to go in the same order that we introduced. So we will start with Sir Heck, and everyone can pass themselves to one another on the way around. Tell us who you are, where to find you next, and we'll get out of here. So Heck, go ahead.
Yeah, hey everybody, it's me, Sir Heckalot. You know, tonight I played Astoria, and it was so good to be back playing her. She's, one of my comfort characters. One of the first, actually, yeah, the first character that I played in online streaming, which is nuts. So it's good. But yeah, you can find me on all of the social medias at Sir Heckalot, including Twitch, Itch, Twitter, Instagram, all the places. You can find my graphic design portfolio on any of those, and you can see cool graphics like the overlay that you're looking at right now, as well as all the promos that I did for the show. So if you like that kind of thing, check out my portfolio. Yeah, in terms of where I will be next in the TTRPG space, you can find me over on Nat 20 every other Thursday for All Hail the Queen, a Tyranny of Dragons campaign. As well as potentially I might be in an episode or two of a Delta Green rotating cast campaign. We're gonna see if scheduling works out for that, but I might be there for that. And then at some point next month as well, we will be doing our next installment of Dungeons and Discussions on my personal channel, which is a D&D podcast where we just talk really all things D&D and TTRPG that I co-host with Tyne's Dungeon, and it's always a good time. We actually just had Ty on our last episode, so check it out. So yeah, I think that is about it. So let's move it on over to Al.
Yeah, my name's Al Luker, sci-fi fantasy artist. Check out my artstudio.com. All of Al Luker. Talk is Al or Drawn without the G. Have a good night.
Over to T.
I'm T, and I play Braum, and currently you can find me on Twitter as Dr. Houston very, very, very occasionally, mostly posting about this game, also about some other projects as they come up. We have our comic up, shiningsunshine.com. So you can read that if you'd like. It should be updating as soon as comic production does. So you should see the next couple of issues sometime in the nearest future. Otherwise, I will be at Neon Lights Roleplay and maybe some other places. We'll just have to see, and I hope to see everyone around.
Over to Janie.
Hi, Janie Pot 7575 on places, and I can't remember what I was going to say, so party on.
Up to Ty.
Hey everyone, Tyrant. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Dr. Tyrant. I played Steve Gladiv. Looking forward to bringing Croc back for next time, who is just the goodest boy. As for what I've got going on, let's see. A week from today, over on Heck's personal channel, we will be playing Monster Prom.
Shout that out. Thank you.
Which I have to shout it out every time because I'm so excited. So super excited for Monster Prom. If you don't know what Monster Prom is, it's basically a big dating simulator. There's 4 of us, and we're going to play characters. It's going to be great. The Wednesday after that, on the 12th, I will be back on Nat 20 for the next episode of Against the Tides, which is a Exandrian Wildmount Critical Role inspired campaign where I play a dwarf paladin. So if you want to hear me do a really bad Scottish accent, go there. And then 2 weeks from now, come back from Cold Hands Warm Hearts, because you got to see what's going to happen. Yeah. HP.
I am the Last Hit Point Hero. You can find me on Twitter for TTRPG related stuff at LastHP Hero. I am going to be in Nat 20 Spell Jammer game, and we are having a Looney Toony time as we're just, it's going to be fun. Our favorite Foxy is in that game as well, and we just have an absolute blast. So catch us Sunday night on Nat 20. Be back here in 2 weeks for the character formerly known as Sieve. And now Croc will be joining us again. And then sometime soon, we'll do the second half of Mystery Flesh Pit. Scheduling's a beast, and we're losing that fight, but we will get there. So that will be fantastic. I think that, I almost forgot for a second time. I forgot at the very beginning to do a huge shout out and thank you to all the artists that are involved. As we are on a new channel, you may not know for certain, so I would make sure it is clear. Sir Heck took care of our overlay and our new title screen, which is amazing. I love that logo. The opening video, absolutely just killer. Heck, he did an amazing job. Thank you so much. Our character art for Mirth and for Braum is done by the very own Al Lucart, along with a number of our characters in the past that have now become. I have a
I need to
retired
refresh our art.
characters folder. And there's a lot of beautiful art in there of characters that have gone on and not lost their fight with the Frostmaiden per se, but have moved on to other pastures. And our theme song, I forgot to double check. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, and I didn't write it down. Our theme song, which is during the video itself and also the opening, is done by a person who I paid money to write it. And I'm almost there. It was Sim. So the Simulacre is the one who did our theme song. So excellent job with that. So I believe that is everything for us for tonight. We want to thank you for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. And until then, all I have to say is be good.